welcome back to Glow Up with Shelly. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 all-time favorite palettes. I don't know about you, but I love eyeshadow, and today I'm going to be sharing with you those 10 palettes that I absolutely love and I go to every single time. So remember, this channel is all about glowing up, transformative skincare, flawless makeup, and a lifestyle to match. If that resonates with you, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. I want you to know when I post future videos. Okay, so let's get started. I'm super excited to be doing this. I love eyeshadow, and I have 10 palettes that I really do go to all the time. And I wanted to share those palettes with you and tell you a little bit more about why I like them and why I think you will too. I find myself going to a lot of very natural colors the older I get, and so my palette choices are kind of changing sometimes, and I wanted to give you kind of a rundown of what are those palettes that I tend to use every single day and every single time I'm getting ready to go out for a special event. What palettes do I use and how and why do I use them? Well, you're going to find out. So let's get started. The top 10 palettes. Number 10. This palette is a really good palette. It's not one I reach for a whole lot, but still it's a great palette and one that I find myself going to a little bit more than my other palettes. And trust me, I have a lot of palettes. The first one is the Unveiled Artistry palette by Illamasqua. And this palette is 12 colors. It retails for about $50. It's a beautiful palette. It has lots of kind of neutral tones. It's got some shimmery colors, metallic colors, some beautiful golds and taupes. It's a nice neutral palette and one that just blends really nicely. That's what I love about this palette. The colors are rich, they're bold, they blend well. It does have a little bit of fallout, so that's something to be kind of aware of if you're using this palette. But this palette's definitely worth it. Okay, so what is the next palette that I absolutely love, that I reach for a lot? It is my Ciate London Editor New England palette. This palette retails for $32. It has 24 colors. It has some warm rusts, golds, and greens. It has some nice deep blues and purples. It's just a very lovely palette. Lots of metallic, sparkly colors. The colors, the metallic sparkly colors in Ciate are amazing. And most of this palette is kind of that sparkly color, but it's a beautiful palette and one that is really great for fall. All of these colors go nicely in the fall. They're just beautiful and definitely a palette worth reaching for. So that is number 9. Number 8. Number 8, I have to say, is my ColourPop's Truly Madly Deeply. This is a beautiful palette. It retails for $24 and has 16 shades. There are some beautiful mauves and browns, some peachy pinks. The glitter colors are absolutely phenomenal. And the metallic colors are beautiful as well. I think you'll really like this palette. It blends out really nice. The color is deep and rich and highly pigmented for a very reasonably priced palette. Okay, palette number 7. What is palette number 7 going to be? Definitely has to be the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes. This is a beautiful palette. This retails for $52. It has 16 shades. It has some beautiful, flattering, cool matte colors, some rich, deep metallic colors that really have a lot of reflectivity in the light. It has some taupes and browns and some kind of everyday neutral matte or neutral sparkle colors as well. So this is a beautiful palette and one that I reach for quite a bit. I couldn't decide if I was going to have this one as number 7 or number 6, but definitely a great palette and one that is good for everyday wear. My next palette, number 6, is also an everyday wear palette. It's one that I reach for a lot, and it is the ColourPop Stone Cold Box. This palette is gorgeous. It retails for $36, but I did get this on sale for $30. Ulta often has this this palette on sale, so you should grab it when it does go on sale because it's definitely worth it. It has some cool tones, cool mattes, some glimmering metallics, and just a lot of everyday neutral taupes and browns. It's a beautiful palette with some sparkles. You can create deep smoky eye looks or some really light everyday looks. So this is a great palette, very versatile, and definitely more of a budget-friendly palette. You get a lot of eyeshadow for $36. Okay. Palette number 5 is definitely going to be my Huda Beauty Nude Light Palette. This is a small palette, but definitely a palette that packs a huge punch. It contains soft, buttery mattes. Huda Beauty colors just blend so well. They're rich and deep in color, and they have hardly any fallout. It's just beautiful. The shimmer colors are multi-dimensional. They really, really catch the light. I find myself reaching for this palette a lot. As you can see, it's definitely, I've used a couple of the colors quite a bit. It is a gorgeous palette. It's small. It does retail for $29, which it seems like a lot for only 12 colors, but it's definitely worth it. These colors are blendable, they're versatile, and just beautiful. I highly suggest this palette, especially if you know anything about the Huda Beauty nude palettes. They were made to kind of match the varieties of skin tone. So they're absolutely gorgeous color, and one that's flattering on almost every skin tone. So if you're darker, you might need a more medium or the dark nude. This is the light version. They do have a medium version and a dark version. If you have darker skin, I have light skin, so the dark version's too much for me, but I do like this light palette. Okay, palette number 4. This has got to be the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. This palette came out a few years ago. It was all the rage when it did. It has some beautiful matte colors, 14 shades, some glamorous shimmers for both day and evening. So it's got kind of a little bit of everything. Just a beautiful palette. You can create smoky-eyed looks, you can create neutral looks, everyday looks. This retails for $45 and it's just a beautiful palette. I really, really do love this palette. It has more of a warm tone, but it does have a couple of cool tones as well. Okay, what is my third favorite palette? Number 3. Number 3 has to be my Tarte Full Bloom palette. As you can see, I have used quite a bit of this palette. It is absolutely stunning. The reflectivity on the shimmer colors is wonderful. It's they just kind of sparkle quite a bit in the light, and they tend to hold all day. That's due to the Amazonian clay that Tarte has in some of their palettes. This has 28 colors. It's matte and shimmer, and you can create a lot of looks for this. This is a really good everyday palette. It has some deeper colors for those like more smoky eye looks, but it has a lot of really nice light colors that are blendable, that complement each other really well, and it's just one of my go-to palettes. This Tarte Full Bloom retails for $52, but you do get a lot of product in this. As you can see, this is a very big palette. Okay, what is my number 2 palette? Ooh, it is the Huda Beauty Naughty Nude palette. I love this beautiful palette. This has 18 shades and retails for $67. You can create some very dramatic looks with this palette. It has some really beautiful poppy colors. And it also has some nice neutral colors. It's got some dark, deep colors if you want to create more sultry looks. And it's got some lighter colors to kind of complement those looks as well. So this is a beautiful palette. I tend to reach for this more at night because it is a more dramatic palette. But Huda Beauty palettes are amazing. The matte colors are deep and rich. They're buttery. They blend well. The shimmer colors just catch the light so nicely. I can't explain how beautiful the color is when you put it on your eyelid, but it's just amazing. And the wonderful thing about Huda is there's hardly any fallout when you use this palette. So it's just an amazing, beautiful, rich colored palette, and definitely one of my favorites for night looks. Okay, what's my all-time favorite palette? It's the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. I just love this palette. I go to it all the time. This palette has 18 shades. It has cool and warm tones. It's got a couple of glitters that are just pop, pop, pop. They catch the light so well. This stays in place all day. It's got nice, beautiful matte colors that are blendable and buttery, just like Huda always has in their palettes. It's got a little concealer pad. I don't really use the concealer, but you know, if you do want to use the Huda Beauty concealer, it is in there. I'm not a fan of Huda concealer. I think it does kind of look cakey on my eyes, but a lot of people do like it. If you're young, it's probably a good one for you. If you're a bit older, maybe not the concealer, but the rest of the palette is beautiful. It's got golds, it's got pinks, it's got absolutely gorgeous metallic colors as well. This is a wonderful palette for everyday looks in both cool and warm tones, and definitely my top favorite go-to palette. I'm always using this. I think I probably use this about 3 times a week for my daily work wear. So this palette is amazing. It retails for $65. There are 18 colors, and I love this palette. Okay, so there you have it. My top 10 favorite palettes, the ones I go to all the time. I absolutely love these palettes. And of course, I'm constantly getting new palettes, so that might change. But for now, these are the palettes that I recommend anyone owning. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time on Glow Up with Shelly.